Steven! Someone's speeding. Steven! Do you think 49ers fans woke up yesterday morning, saw the Deebo Samuel news, and said, damn, I'm too high for this shit?
How long did it take you to think of that one?
Well, yesterday when I was, working and it was 4:20, and I was like, I know a lot of people in the Bay Area just their buzz is just totally killed right now.
Yeah. I can't believe it, dude.
Can't
I can't
believe that he's doing this.
Yeah, I can't believe it escalated to this where he's telling a reporter, aka
Jeff
this time
Darlington.
Jeff Darlington, he's telling a reporter like, "Hey, I requested a trade." At first, I thought it was just talk,
Nah,
like
this is a thing now.
the thing from Clarence Hill Jr., who said like, "Yo, he wants $30 million a year," but he didn't put any sources on it. And it's like, of course he wants $30 million a year. Everybody wants $30 million a year. I want $30 million a year. Like you can just tweet that out, and I didn't think nothing of it because it's true. Then Bobby Thompson had the report heard around the world. Hey, and he
Was it a buddy of yours?
oh, you get that one? Bobby
A?
Thompson shot heard around the world. Bobby Thompson.
Oh, nicely done
But
there.
but he had the report that basically just reiterated what Schefter said, and no one really
Yeah.
trusts Schefter right now. And then the Jeff Darlington thing. It's just it's insane that it's just escalated to this. Or
Yeah.
I mean, for the 420 people, it's percolated to this.
I like that use of word.
That's
Welcome
some
to
real
Just Your
inside
Opinion, man.
knowledge.
Welcome to Just Your Opinion, man. Stephen Langford, Derek Papa. Are you already tired of this? Because I'm sure the last few days of radio have just been nonstop Deebo, 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 with a little bit of Warrior sprinkled in.
I wouldn't say I'm tired of it. I find it fascinating, but I do think it could just end up that he's still under contract and nothing's going to happen. But I mean, the fact that the draft is 7 days away, it's getting real, bro. It's getting real.
It is getting real, and we'll talk all about it. And just finished up a fantastic interview with John Middlecoff, my boy from back in the day. And we're not going to play it on the stream today. It won't be on this podcast. But if you want to listen to it, it will be available after the stream on podcast exclusive. So you can get that on iTunes and Spotify. But Steven, let's just get right into it. You brought it up. I brought it up really, but all of the reports, Jeff Darlington, Bobby Thompson, whoever the hell. Tom Pelissero also threw in that he doesn't want to play running back / wide receiver, even though, the whole season he did it and didn't cause a stink. He may have just gone along with it. He seemed more than happy to do it at the Pro Bowl where he was talking to Lisa Salters and was saying that he's happy to be a wide back and any way that he can get the ball more in his hands. And
Yeah.
this whole thing.
Well, hang on. I
Yeah.
do want to say though, man, because like that's been talked about so much. He said that when he thought he was going to get paid. And
He still might
now
get paid.
but he might not.
Okay.
Like,
Do you think so? This all stemmed from, remember, we were talking about this one podcast ago, where Adam Schefter said, according to my sources, no, it was more so just Deebo Samuel. The Niners would gladly play him today, tomorrow, the next day, and the next day, and the next day. That's a Mr. Krabs impression. But Deebo Samuel doesn't want to be there. We were like, whatever, Schefter. You are a little questionable these days. But it turns out to be true. So we should never question Adam Schefter. I'm kidding. But yeah, now it's a thing. So
it was hybrid running back, wide receiver, wide back stuff.
Yes.
That was the first issue. Then it was like everyone just assumes it's money, but apparently money isn't an issue. And now everyone is saying that, or at least Schefter went on Sports Center and said that he wants to be closer to home.
Carolina.
But Deebo laughed at that.
Yeah,
so
he did. He refuted that one.
I don't really know which is true, what's not. The only one I really believe is the Jeff Darlington report, because nobody just I mean, you don't just go on ESPN and say, "Hey, a player told me this," when a player didn't tell you that. Like, that's,
well, do you think Rodgers told Schefter a year ago that he wanted to be traded?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Man,
Regardless,
I don't know.
regardless, okay, this is the question. Do you think the 49ers, who've had a history of, they paid guys, but it doesn't take them right away to do it, and, they traded away to Forrest Buckner, they gave a contract to George Kittle. Do you think that they're willing to give Deebo Samuel $25 million? Like the way
I
that
don't.
the way the
I
Chester's making
don't.
it sound is just like they're going to give it to him tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that's not how they operate. So I don't believe
No,
that.
I don't think so.
So this
They've
is about
barely
money.
been. I do think it is. I really I don't like. I haven't seen anything where the Niners like said, "Oh yeah, we gave him $25 million. We gave him that offer, and they rejected that offer." Like he
Yeah.
wouldn't reject that.
I haven't
Um,
heard anything about an offer being made. The only thing I've heard is that Matt Mayoko is saying that the Niners budgeted Deebo for 22 to 24 million dollars. But we don't know if that has been offered.
right. And it also depends on how much they're guaranteeing because the
Yes.
guarantee is the big one if he's going to be playing running back. So I don't know what that number is, but with the way that they've tried to lowball running backs, essentially, and say like, "Hey, any running back can work in our system. Like, it doesn't matter. I'll just, you know what, Deebo, you don't want the money. We're just gonna go grab somebody in the 6th round this year. It doesn't matter. Like, we don't care. So their
That's how
hesitancy
Shanahan's
to
roll, baby.
it's just yeah, exactly. It's in their nature to not pay running backs.
But that's
So I
that's the NFL now.
sure, no doubt, no doubt. Unless you have a Derrick Henry or a Christian McCaffrey, you're not willing to pay him this type of money. But
Even
um,
then.
but I don't know, dude. Deebo, I'd pay him for sure, but I really don't know what to believe right now. But I have heard a lot of this is the Deebo who wanted the football in Dallas and was saying, "Hey, give me the ball, I'll go score," and then he goes and scores again. I want to reiterate that was Deebo who thought he was going to get paid after the
Mm-hmm.
season. I understand that people want to make it to be like, oh yeah, he's a total team player. Like he wanted to win that game and he knew that he was their only chance to win that game. But he also knew at the back of his mind that, hey, if I do this, if I go to Kyle and I'm saying, hey, give me the ball and I score, oh boy, I'm gonna be up for a nice little payday after this season. Let's go. Like
Yeah.
there's always the money incentive that's involved in it. And I don't blame him. That's how it works. That's what you do when you're an athlete. You're supposed to do it like that. So, I take that little argument with a grain of salt. It's like, who is this guy? He wanted all this money and he wanted the ball and he's so loyal to the team. Yeah, of course he is. He is, but he also wants some money too, and they're clearly not willing to pay him for it. Like
Yeah.
that's really where I'm coming down with on it.
Yeah, I don't know where the money is going with the Niners right now. I mean, the thing is, so if Deebo doesn't want to play wide back, that diminishes his value.
Mm-hmm.
You could say what you want about him as a running back or as a wide receiver, but the fact is that he is more valuable when he does both. If he is just strictly a wide receiver, I don't know if he is one of the top 7 best receivers in football. He is good, but he's not great. What makes him great is that he does both, and he does it better than anybody. He does it better than Cordero Patterson. He's doing like Lenny Moore shit from the 1950s with the Colts.
I remember it well.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm dating myself, but yeah, man. I don't know where this is going, and honestly, the expectation is that they should have something done by next week. No, I don't believe either way, if it's a contract or if it's a trade. I don't think this simply just gets resolved by next week because the draft is coming up. And I don't think that, I mean, Deebo could stay away or he could come back, whatever it is. I don't think the Niners have to do shit. I don't think that they feel the need, like, well, we got to do something here. This is how they roll. And yeah, I mean, like, I know that they could probably, like, what's the best case scenario? They trade with the Jets to get the 10th overall pick and then get, Jameson Williams, or maybe too high, but Treylon Burks, who's basically the other Deebo Samuel in this draft. I don't think they're going to do anything. I think that they're going to sit tight. If anything, they ask around, they tell you what the offer is. This is a team that's not willing to trade Jimmy Garoppolo, for whatever other picks that have been on the table in the past. If it's just simply we'll give you a second round pick for Deebo, or we'll give you a first and other picks, I don't think they're going to blink on it. I think they're going to sit tight and wait for this whole thing to blow over.
They're gonna have a nice cool pint. We're gonna go down to the Winchester, and this whole thing is gonna blow over.
Out of the Winchester.
Hang on. I need to look at the draft order here. Where so
I know it well, sir.
How many picks do the Jets have?
That way in the first round or altogether?
First round.
They have 4 and 10, and then they have, I want to say, 33 and 30. No, sorry, they don't have 33. They have 35 and 38.
Okay,
so they have the best chance to offer anything.
Yeah, let's just say hypothetically, they, offer the 4th and the 10th pick. I mean, do you think that the Niners would be willing to take that?
Yeah, but that's crazy for the Jets to do that.
Well, yeah, but you know what, man? It's a king's ransom, as they say that they want, the cliche, the king's ransom, and that'd be it right there. Hey, give us both of your top 10 picks.
Okay, but if you're the Jets, that's a crazy move to make.
What, you think the Jets are like an organization that's built on competence? What do you think here? Like, this is the Jets.
Well, they're trying to be if they're trading for Deebo Samuel.
Like, it's the Jets. I'd be thinking they'd be willing to do that.
I know, but this is also the Jets that's run by Robert Saleh and Mike LaFleur. So these are 49er guys. They probably want Deebo Samuel, but you got to draft somebody at 4. Like you're not just one Deebo Samuel away from being a good team. You need pieces.
Well, and they're still also ran by Joe Douglas. So
what do you Joey Douglas?
Didn't they want him out of New York or something?
No, that was the other guy. McCagnon.
Whatever.
Mike McCagnon.
But I don't know, man. If they're willing to offer that, I think the 49ers would budge. But I agree with you. I think they're just going to stand, because they're not going to get an offer like that. But they're going to stand pat and, just say, hey, Deebo, we got you under contract here. And if you want to hold out, you can hold out. You're not going to play games. And, you could have a year off where all you're doing, and I don't know why Le'Veon Bell feels like he has to nudge himself into this, because
seriously, dude, seriously,
it's like you held out and all you did was, come back and, I mean, you stole a bunch of money from the Jets essentially. Like the Jets had to pay you a ton of money when they gave you a contract, and now you just held out, and that's it. Like, anyway.
No, but yeah, to get to Le'Veon Bell's quote, because I wanted to talk about this today, he said that if Deebo sits out, then they'll just find somebody to replace him, and they'll act like it's no big deal. Well, isn't that what teams are supposed to do? Like Le'Veon Bell's is acting like, yeah, when I held out, all the Steelers did was just replace me with James Conner and act like it was no big deal. Yeah, he replaced you, and then you sucked. So like, if this is sports. You get Wally pipped. If you don't come to play, they'll find somebody to replace you, Le'Veon.
And the thing is, they are scared of turning into the Jets with Le'Veon. I mean, the numbers aren't the same. I'm not saying the numbers are the same because it's much cheaper the way that Le'Veon's contract was done. But he got a 4-year, $52 million deal before the 2019 season.
Yeah.
He was only paid $14 million of it by the Jets in 2019. And then in 2020, he was only paid $8.5 million. And after that, he was done. He was gone. And they still had to pay for his contract, even for the Chiefs. So you don't want to, that's just, I don't know why he's, the one that's weighing in on this. It's very odd.
When it's all said and done, I do think that they'll come to some kind of agreement. But I don't think it's just simply that he doesn't want to play running back. Something else is going on. I don't know what it is. I have no intel. Don't make it seem like I'm hearing things from my dad, Steven. But I just don't know. I don't know. I don't think anyone really knows. Like there's things that, people are speculating that he doesn't like California. He doesn't like to have to pay taxes. The Carolina thing. Who the hell knows? It's just, this is why this stuff, we just need the draft to happen so we actually have some real things happening. And thank God, Steven. Oh, buddy, are you ready for May 12th? Mark your calendar down.
May 12th.
May 12th? Oh, sir. We're going wall to wall schedule talk, baby. The whole week 18 schedule is coming out. We're going game by game by game. Every team.
Every team, game by game.
No, I will say, and you can ask Bonte about this. Me and my dad, or Bonte and my dad, used to love the let's go through every game, Raiders, Niners, week by week, and every year I'd be like, guys, no, we can't do that. It's just really bad radio.
What, you think Bonte's still past that?
He still likes to do that.
Oh, we still do it, baby. Let's go.
It just gets a little old after a while. It's like, all right,
We'll talk. We'll see which game is the gotta have it game. We'll see which game is the must win at this point in the season. We tried to create names for every single game for all 17 weeks or whatever it was this year.
I love the schedule release. I love it just because it's so much different. Like, when the Warriors are trying to push the NBA schedule release, it's like, yeah, but it's it's 82 games. It's a lot. When it's baseball, it's okay. We'll remember the games when they come up. Like it's week by week with baseball. With football, it's a big deal because I'm interested to hear what the Thursday night games are going to be with Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit. Are the Monday night games going to be different with Buck and Aikman? That stuff, but just to go through like win, it's just like I'm a little tired after a while.
Hey man, I'm worried about how they're going to play on the road when they have this road trip later on in the season. I was talking about that. I'll still remember it was when they were going to like I was like circling the Cincinnati game and like the Tennessee game, and I was like the circle games, where they had a road trip and then they're they got to go travel back and forth. I'm worried about the travel there. I don't know about it. And then you kind of get into the season, you realize, wow, the travel. I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but
it depends. But like we'll talk about short weeks. We'll talk about long weeks, bye weeks, international games. It's going to be a fiesta.
Long weeks, fast weeks, slant weeks, and slong weeks. I don't know. I'm trying.
What are you, Dr. Seuss now?
Willy Wonka. Talking about his elevator.
That's true. Well done there.
Thank you.
It's just, so Deebo Samuel's agent is also the agent for AJ Brown, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Okay. And I think, I'm seeing DK Metcalf, but I gotta double check that.
Well, DK Metcalf his name has not, even though his name has been brought up most with trade rumors, he's the one that doesn't care the most. Like he'll gladly stay in Seattle and eat all the candy he wants with Drew Lock, while Terry McLaurin and AJ Brown and Deebo Samuel are not demanding trades. Deebo Samuel is, but they've scrubbed their Instagrams and whatnot.
It is the same as AJ Brown, but DK
Different.
Metcalf, no, they're both represented by, or they're all represented by CAA, but that's a really large agency.
Yeah.
So CAA Sports, so it's different agents within the agency. It's not like, hey, yeah, just one agent goes through CAA Sports, and that's how everyone's represented. So that should not go. That should not be confused.
So, how do you think this goes? Like, that's such a weird predicament because you have two guys that you're representing, AJ Brown and Deebo Samuel, and both of them want to get paid. It sounds like AJ Brown's closer to a deal, but if you're AJ Brown, wouldn't you be like, I kind of want to see what Deebo gets?
Of course. Like that has to play into it, right? Because but the thing is with AJ Brown, there hasn't been this contentious relationship this offseason. It's been pretty clear. Like, sure, he's posted a video of himself because he was drafted by the Padres, so he posted a video of himself in the batting cage, as if he's going to go and play baseball if he doesn't get the money that he deserves to be paid, that kind of stuff. Did you see that? Beautiful swing on that guy.
Didn't see it.
Got power, man. He's got a lot of power.
Should the A's draft him?
I don't know if he wants to get paid. I don't know if the A's are exactly the best place to go.
Speaking of which, former A Kyler Murray chimed in today. Steve Keim said there's zero chance that he gets traded. And even though there's some contentious thing going on with the Cardinals, Kyler Murray said, yep, 100%, I want to win championships in Arizona. So at least that's good.
Yep. So there you go. But I will say that with A.J. Brown, it doesn't feel like there's been a lot of it from the organization. We haven't really heard too much from the 49ers. We're going to hear from them next week, actually. I think they got their press conferences for the pre-draft stuff, so it'll get asked about for sure. Because what else are you going to ask about? You guys aren't drafted until the third round. We think we're going to ask you draft questions. No, we're not. But A.J. Brown.
I like how you say we now. Are you showing up to Santa Clara to ask these questions?
I'm part of the media, Derek. I'm going to ask questions. So, I don't even remember what I was going to say. Oh, AJ Brown is probably going to get that contract, and there's got to be
Yeah,
something there where they're saying, "Hey, like AJ Brown has got this offer on the table. They're willing to pay him that because they got Ryan Tannehill, and they have a potential out with Ryan Tannehill after this season. There's no guarantee that he's going to be the highest paid guy. I mean, AJ Brown is going to be your dude, so they're offering him this amount of money, and the 49ers are like, look, we're not going to be matching that." Then Deebo's like, all right, well, you know what? We'll see what happens.
we'll
We'll
definitely
see
see
what
what happens
happens.
here. We'll see what
So
happens here.
I could see it being that way too. I could see it. I mean, there's a connection. There is the connection.
There is the connection, and it's just funny to me. Like these guys all want massive deals, and rightfully so. They've earned it. Even though, like to compare yourself to Stephon Diggs or Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams as far as contracts, are a little crazy to me. But that's just the NFL now. On the flip side, who would you say is the best wide receiver in football right now, Steven?
Hmm. I always have a tough time going back and forth on it. Um.
Okay, well, would
How
you
do you
say it's
define? How do you define best? Like just
it's hard to say because there's a lot of great guys. I think guys do different things, so it's hard to say the best. But okay, would you say Cooper Cup is one of the best receivers in football? Obviously, if not the best, next to Devontae Adams or whoever else you want to put in that category.
yeah. I'd probably go. I'd probably go Cup. I think
Okay,
I'd go Cup just based on, I mean, this season alone. But it feels
yeah,
like he has a skill set that's just that can last for a very long time within the NFL.
I agree.
Not
I
sure,
agree.
not sure with these other guys. I don't know how much longer Tyreek Hill is going to be like the speediest human ever. I don't know how much longer Devontae Adams. I hope that until the end of his contract. I don't know how much longer he's going to be the Devontae Adams that we all know. I mean, is he going to be the same when he's 32 years old? Who knows? But Cooper Cup, it feels like Cooper Cup is going to have some. I know it's just a small white guy, but a Wes Welker, Julian Edelman type production when he's in his 30s. I still think he's going to have that.
Yeah, well, let's hope the Raiders. What's Devontae Adams right now? 31, 30?
He is
Oh, okay.
28. Yeah,
Oh,
he's 28,
good.
I think. 28 or
Well,
29.
okay. Well, let's. I mean, yeah, he just had a massive deal with the Raiders, so let's stay. Let's hope he stays on top of his game. But it's just funny to me that Cooper Cup had arguably the best wide receiver season of all time when you take it from the regular season to the playoffs. And he is on record because the Rams are going to give him a contract along with Aaron Donald. And somehow they'll still be able to sign other guys. But
Everybody, everybody
exactly.
in the NFL.
I'm telling you, watch for Tyrann Mathieu to go to the Rams. People are gonna lose their shit.
Yeah.
Um, but Cooper Cup is on record saying, I don't care. I don't care if I make the most money as a wide receiver. I don't care if this guy gets more than me. I just want to, a new contract would be nice, but I don't need to prove anything to anybody. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this guy sets all these records this season, or whatever records they were, but he had a fantastic, most productive wide receiver season we've seen of quite some time. He is Super Bowl MVP. He probably got concussed on the game-winning touchdown, or the one that was called before the game-winning touchdown. He's willing to lay his body on the line. He basically saved their season in the Super Bowl, and he's saying, I'm cool. I don't need to get a big contract. That's why the Rams are going to be good going forward because while they make all these moves, Stafford doesn't need to be the highest paid guy. Cooper doesn't need to be the highest paid guy. We'll see about Donald. He probably will be. But Jesus, that's got to piss off 49er fans where Deebo's like, get me out of here. And Cooper's like, I want to stay for less.
Yeah, just wait till Cooper gets to the end of this last contract here, and then we'll make some assumptions on what he's willing to be paid or what not to be paid. I think we'd wait on that to see what he's going
Okay.
to be offered. Yeah,
We'll see about that.
I'll buy into it, but I still think he's going to be making what like at least Amari Cooper was making this past year with the Cowboys, an average 20 million a year. I
Yeah,
still
that seems
think he's
about
going to be
right.
making. I think he's still going to be making at least that. So, if he's talking if in terms of a big contract, he's saying that he's willing to take less than $27 to $28 million, and okay, but it's going to be somewhere in that sweet spot of 20 to 26. So let's not take this guy for the Mother Teresa of football or whatever comparison you want to make. Is that even right?
Yeah, sure. Cooper Kupp is the Mother Teresa of football. I like that.
She take less money. But
no, she did. Mother Teresa was pro bono, my man.
So I don't know, man. Cooper Kupp, he's still going to get paid pretty handsomely. He's not like he's going to be getting paid less than what he's making now or the next couple of years, at least.
Are you trying to get the beard growing again so you can look like him?
No,
Why not?
I'm trying. Man, I'm gonna try and keep this thing nice and fresh, prim and fresh, man. It makes my, why? What are you asking that for?
Because when you were growing the beard out, you were talking about that.
Yeah, I know. It didn't work though. Didn't work at all.
I'm sorry, I hit a sore spot. So now you're trying to bulk up and be like Aiden Hutchinson?
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's the new thing. Everyone thinks I look like Aiden Hutchinson.
That's not a bad thing. What's so bad about that?
It's not bad at all, but I don't like. I like to. I'm me, bro. Yeah, check it out. So I ran a whole poll on my Instagram.
You ran a poll?
Yes. Do I
look like Aiden Hutchinson?
Yes, because I made a whole story, and then 76% of the people say I do. That's probably
how many people voted in this Instagram?
Yeah, see, you can't tell till the end for another 24 hours. So I have a feeling there's like 21 people who voted, and 15 of them are family members.
It's Jesse and your mom.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, now that the 49ers are maybe in the mix for a wide receiver in the first round, if they trade they may make a trade for, Deebo Samuel and everything, or trade away Deebo Samuel, I should say. Should we do a deep dive of the draft for wide receiver, Steven?
Let's dive in.
Let's do it. You got some music? Oh, yeah. Ooh! That sexy garage band guitar riff. Let's hear it, my man. All right, Steven. I'll let you go first because I know you were watching YouTube clips yesterday. Do you want to chime in at all, or do you want me to go?
I got nothing on this conversation.
All right,
it's all you, bro.
I'll take it away then. So, the big names in this draft, wide receiver-wise, are Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams is coming off an ACL tear, but he is the most explosive out of all these guys. He reminds me a little bit of Tyreek Hill. I would say, a little more Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle type. The best deep threat out of all of them. But there is the ACL tear. But ACL tears, guys come back from them. I just don't know if you want to draft a guy with an ACL tear, and he may not be the first wide receiver to go because of that. Then you got the two Ohio State guys, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. People are saying that Garrett Wilson is the best wide receiver in this draft, hands down, but there's a lot of good guys. I've watched Garrett Wilson. I think he's really good. He reminds me of kind of Keenan Allen a little bit, where he's not going to kill you with his speed, but he's very shifty with his feet. And then there's Chris Olave, who reminds me a little bit of Victor Cruz. A little more faster than Garrett Wilson, I would say. But both guys are very similar, and you can't go wrong with either. Then there's
Drake London. Has a career in reality television at the end, or what?
What's that?
Has a post-career in reality television like Victor Cruz?
Oh, Victor. I don't know, whoever. Is Victor Cruz on reality TV?
Not reality TV, but he's trying to get on like Good Morning Football. I can tell.
Does he still salsa?
I'm sure he does.
He still do that dance?
Who are we talking about? Chris Olave?
No, we're talking about Drake London now. Drake London is the best big receiver in this draft. I don't know if he has like pull-away speed or anything, but he's got a big body type. He reminds me of Mike Evans. So if someone needs a good red zone target, he's the best guy. And then there's this guy, Treylon Burks, who's been described as a Swiss Army knife in this draft. He is the most similar to Deebo Samuel. He does it all. He can run. He can catch. This is the guy that I'm sure the 49ers would target if there would be a Deebo Samuel trade. Oh, I thought you were going to say something. And then there's other guys, Jahan Dotson, Sky Moore, Greg Pickens, Christian Watson, a guy from North Dakota State. Trey Lance knows him. Big body guy. He may not be a first rounder, but that's a guy that teams should look for in the other rounds. The Niners have a third round pick. This is a guy that they may target if they hang on to Deebo and they want to upgrade the wide receiver position. So that's what I got as far as the wide receivers in this draft. It's very
I got
deep,
one.
and it's good. Go for it, my man.
I got one. I got Alex Pierce out of Cincinnati. Pierce probably isn't going in round 1, but it wouldn't totally shock me if he sneaks into the top 32 picks. He has the physical traits that can make a team fall in love with him. He ran a 4.4 140 and a 40.5-inch vert at the combine. Pierce isn't just a workout warrior, though. He averaged 17 yards per catch, scored 18 touchdowns, and was one of the best vertical threats in the country last season. He's going to run by defensive backs at the next level. I also thought about Western Michigan's Sky Moore here. He's only 5'10", but he had the biggest hands of any receiver in the combine. He's dynamic after the catch. I compared Alec Pierce to Jordy Nelson, and Pierce could go right around where Nelson did in the 2008 draft, number 36 overall.
Shake that head, baby.
Yeah, that's Mel Kiper's favorite draft prospect that no one's talking about.
Did you read that from like an ESPN Plus article?
I did.
Nice, nicely done.
Yeah,
nicely
that might be copyright, but hey, I credited it appropriately. I did the voice. It's all you, Mel Kiper. So Alec Pierce, a name to watch out for. How about that?
Okay, I'll look out for him. I've seen him too. Cincinnati, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll see Jordy Nelson type. How about that?
Just because he's white.
Is he white? I didn't know.
I think he is. I could be totally wrong. Actually, I've seen this guy play, and I actually have no idea what he looks like.
Well, let's take a look.
Yeah, actually, let's just take a look and see what Alex Pierce looks like.
He is white. You are correct.
Okay, there you go. Save myself there.
Yeah, way to go, man. He really, it really goes all out. It's like, yeah, let's find the one white wide receiver that was drafted somewhere in the 30s, and let's make a comparison to him. It's like,
I mean, besides Cooper Kupp and Hunter Renfrow. And by the way,
attaboy.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. How about like Raider fans? I love you. Nobody loves you more than me. But what's with all these Deebo Samuel pictures on Twitter that he's going to come to the Raiders? You got Devontae Adams. He's not coming to the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't know. They're insane.
I know.
What do you? I think they're just trying to make a joke out of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's more of Raider fans poking at Niner fans. But I did
Derek
like
Carr weighed in.
He did. Yeah, Kenny King. Shout out to Kenny King, good old podcaster. He suggested the Deebo Samuel stuff, and then Derek said, "No, we're saving that money for Hunter Renfrow." That's a good teammate right there.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's a guy who is going to be the leader. But hey, do it one more time, Derek, and then you'll get your contract, and you'll be with the Raiders, and then you'll have your say. You don't have to say it right now. Just give it a year, my friend. See if they pay that out.
He'll be fine. Him and Devontae will do good things this season.
They better.
Jimmy Gabagool has finally spoken. And besides his Subway commercial, he made the rounds today going on. He went on Sirius XM radio. He did some podcasts with his dad. And then he went on Adam Shine's show, his radio show. Adam Shine, Jimmy Garoppolo. What went on with you and Trey Lance this season, huh? That's my Adam Shine.
I don't know what he sounds like, so I'll just take your word for it. Does he have a segment called The Shining?
He should. If he doesn't, that's really a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I should be his producer.
All sports all day make Adam Shine a dull boy.
Who is shining in sports this week? I sound like Howard Cosell because I don't know what this guy sounds like.
Yeah, you sound like a little bit of Howard Cosell mixed with John Mulaney, who's coming back and doing stand-up specials.
Good for him.
Good for him indeed. So, Steven, Jimmy Garoppolo made the rounds. He was talking about today how he said all the right things. People asked him about Deebo, and he's like, I'm not going to talk about another man's money. But if, some guy suggested that him and Deebo be in a package deal, he'd be like, yeah, I'll take that. I love playing with Deebo. And then he said last year was weird. He wouldn't wish it on anybody. But he was all smiles. And it makes me believe that Jimmy is just, I'm sure he would love to leave, but he's also just going with the flow because at this point, whatever team trades for him, and I don't even know if that's going to happen at this point, they would ask for him to take a pay cut. So it's either, you're going to play with the Niners, you're going to probably start if you're making $27 million, or, he could sit on the bench and collect $27 million. There's also this report that Jeremy Fowler is saying that Trey Lance has been reassured that he's going to be the starting quarterback. How do you know right now? How do you know? And I doubt Kyle has told him that because why would he do that? So I don't know. I doubt Jimmy Garoppolo gets traded by next week during the draft, but who the hell knows at this point?
I'm sure from those Subway commercials, he learned how to remember a script. which is exactly what he did when he was on the radio or talking now. Like that dude, like I really don't get it. Like I don't get it when he talks. He doesn't say a single thing. Like he doesn't. He he just answers things in the most generic way possible because that's the biggest thing that he took away from Tom Brady in New England is, hey, 90% of the stuff I say, I don't mean. I'm just trying to get out of these press conferences. So
But
it's
isn't
the
that most
same.
athletes?
It's a lot of athletes, yes, and
So
something
what do you
that we
want them to say? What do you want them to say?
I don't know. I wanted to be honest and say, hey, man, yeah, I think I'm going to be the starter this season. I think I'm going to come back. I want him to stir up some controversy. That's what I
Well,
want him to do.
well, did you see what happened when Gabagool Ben McAdoo did that the other day? The offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers.
What did he do?
They asked him, "So is Sam Darnold going to be the starting quarterback?" And he goes, "Yep, Sam Darnold will be the starting quarterback this year." 1 minute and 30 seconds later, sorry, I stuck my foot in my mouth. I shouldn't be saying anybody's the starting quarterback.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, honesty, it's
So you
great.
shouldn't
Now,
speak your mind then.
well, but again, like, what do we expect Jimmy Garoppolo to say? There's nothing that he can say. I'm not going to talk about another man's money. Totally fine. I'm sure he wants Deebo to be there because Deebo has inflated his numbers dramatically. So, of course, he'd love Deebo to be there if he was still the starting quarterback, but now he's going to be the backup. So, who cares?
All right. You think that's going to happen? He's going to sit on the bench for 27 million?
I have a tough time believing it, but as of right now, he's still on the team. So until something's different, then I'll change my mind.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens when things get wacky in the draft.
We certainly will see what happens, Derek.
We'll see what happens, sir. I don't know how to transition. I don't know what do you want me to say to go for the next topic.
I don't know.
Next topic.
All right, let's see here. What do we want to go with? From someone who could make it to the playoffs, let's transition to someone who might make it back into the playoffs. The NBA playoffs, that is. Ben Simmons could be coming back.
Oh, nicely done there. Nicely done. Yeah, you've done this before. You're doing radio shows.
Yeah, I don't really transition. It's really weird. It's very awkward.
You just go to next topic. My
Yeah.
favorite thing to do. My favorite thing to do on the Caboose Pistol was when something was over with, I would just scream what the next topic was going to be. So, like, let's just say, like, I was done with whatever the hell, and then I
Yeah.
just go robot sex, and then my dad would be like, "Nice transition there, Derek."
Yeah, I just kind of go, all right, let's talk about the NFL now. It's not
All
very
right.
professional.
All right, let's talk about NBA playoffs. So you brought it up, Steven. The Nets, they're in desperation mode. They've lost the first two games of their series against the Celtics. They're down 0-2, and they need some answers, and they need some help and reinforcements. And are they really going to bring back Ben Simmons, who hasn't played a second with them in the playoffs, for Game 3? I mean, I don't think that this is the time to do this. The worst case scenario is Ben Simmons goes out there and plays like shit, and then you have the Brooklyn Nets fans being like, "This guy sucks," and then all offseason we hear this, they lose the series, and then Ben Simmons can't take it and wants to be traded for the Brooklyn Nets.
Or would it be worse if they get swept and they lose these next two games in Brooklyn and you don't bring back Ben Simmons in, and then you're wondering, well, why didn't you bring in Ben Simmons? He could have helped. Because what can he do? Sure, he might ruin the flow of the offense, but that offense doesn't have any flow right now. And he'd give you something defensively. He'd give you a little bit of rim protection. He'd give you some guarding on the perimeter, which they desperately need. They do not have that with Kyrie Irving. I don't think Kyrie Irving's a very good defender. Kevin Durant is fantastic, but the Celtics, there's a reason they're the best defense in the league, or one of the best defenses in the league. They got the defensive player of the year in Marcus Smart. They neutralized KD.
Say it right, Steven. Say it right.
What?
Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart. Sorry. Smart Pack. And they're just, I mean, the Celtics have their number right now, and they did in Boston. It could completely change when they go back to Brooklyn. But I see why they'd bring in Ben Simmons, because they need somebody who can do. They just need someone who could do something that's outside of Kevin Durant and Kyrie, because they don't have a lot of that right now.
Yeah, but I love Steve Nash. I loved him as a player, and I loved him when he was a consultant with the Warriors. but I haven't really seen him coach a lot. And Kenny Smith broke it down beautifully last night on Inside the NBA, where Kevin Durant is just playing 1 versus 5 when he's playing the Celtics. When they get the ball to him, they don't do anything.
Nope.
Like Kyrie Irving is around there and he's helping him out, but the other 3 guys on the floor for the Nets are just standing there and they need
Yeah.
to make something happen. It's basically like Steve Nash just going out there and saying, play basketball. And that's what bothered me last year when they used him for 40 minutes against the Bucks in that game 5 and that game 7. He just ran out of gas. Steve Nash, they wanted him, but he's got to bring something more to the table of, we got to start playing basketball here. We got to start like this looks like Mark Jackson stuff where they're just, go shoot, go do your thing. And it's crazy that Mike D'Antoni is his assistant coach. At least, wait, no, actually he's not there anymore. But I don't know, man. Like they got to do something. Like it's just stagnant offense. And there's a part of me when I watch, the Nets and the Celtics where I'm like, God, is this what Kevin Durant really wanted? Like I know he wanted happiness and he was tired of all the bullshit that went on with the Warriors. He won 2 championships and he had to deal with a lot of, heat because he decided to make that move. But is this not worse? Is this not like, damn, like I got to deal with Kyrie and everything that goes on with him. James Harden doesn't want to be here, so we got rid of him. We're bringing in, a big name every week to play center, whether it's DeAndre Jordan or Blake Griffin or is what's his face still leaving on the team? Who's the guy with the Trailblazers back in the day? Used to be on the Spurs too. God, what the hell's his name?
What is he, a center?
Yeah, bigger guy. Used to play for the Trailblazers. Used to play for the Spurs. He had like a heart thing a year ago and retired early during the season. The playoffs,
LaMarcus Aldridge.
LaMarcus Aldridge. Yeah, I think we talked about it last podcast, or maybe not, but I forget who I was talking about it with. But it looks like Kevin Durant. He's not going to regret leaving the Warriors, but I'm sure he's like, damn, is this better? Is this the right decision I made?
Of course he is. Of course he's going to look back and wonder. But that's not what you should do in life. Like he made the decision, and I think he's a very, for all the grief that people give him, I think he's a very
misunderstood,
philosophical type of dude where it's just he's not going to look back and just dwell because he won 2 championships with the Warriors. He's fine. This is like what I said after he, made those comments about with the Ringer about how they need to retire his jersey, and if they don't, then it's bad for the game of basketball. I think the Warriors got the best version of Kevin Durant at the stage that he was at in his life. He was at the stage where his main focus was winning a championship, and he managed to do that twice with them. And now he's on to the next stage of his life, which is just he wants to play basketball with his friends and not take orders from anybody. Because with the Warriors, he would still be behind, Steph and Draymond and Clay in terms of like the pecking order. But in Brooklyn, it was all him. Like him and Kyrie, those guys were the ones who had all the power. Like that book that came out from Matt Sullivan, or that's gonna come out, because he was talking about the saga to get James Harden up to the Nets, and now there's clearly more to the story. So the book just hasn't come out yet. And I'm surprised the interview didn't get as much notoriety as it did. But,
this is the first I'm hearing about this.
Yeah, you've never, go to Lebitard and listen to Matt Sullivan's, listen to his interview with Lebitard. He straight up said, like, these guys have all the power. They do whatever they want. Like, it
looks like it.
That's all, like, that's it. And, like, that's the reason why Kenny Atkinson was out. That's the reason. That's the reason why all those guys were traded, because they didn't want to play with them.
Yeah.
And now look at him. Like, he made a mistake, and I think he understands that. It's not looking good for him right now. But hey, man, if you can make your money and have all the power in the world, and you're really not being told what to do, I think that's what he wanted in this stage in his career, while also being one of the best players in the world.
Do you think he would ever come back?
No.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Okay.
I think he's going to stay with Brooklyn for the rest of the time.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe. I think he will. But then again, he doesn't have like a bunch of kids to take care of. He doesn't have to worry about like moving them schools and stuff like that. I hate talking about people's personal lives in that
Yeah, I
way.
mean, me too, me
But
too. Because
but if we are
everyone insinuated something with Kevin Durant. It was like, oh, he doesn't have a wife, doesn't have a
yeah.
girlfriend. He must be just angry all the time.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, dude, he's
Please,
fine.
Kevin Durant has more sex than all of us.
But it is a lot easier to, I mean, we're already talking about it with Deebo, the fact that he's got family and he wants
Yeah.
to move closer to home with the 49ers. It's the same thing. Kevin Durant, I mean, he may want to move closer to home. I don't know. What would you want to play with the Wizards? I don't know what it would be.
Now he
But
had that opportunity to play with Scotty Brooks, and
yeah.
he didn't want to do that.
Yeah. So, I think he does regret it, but and you said I don't know what the Nets are gonna do. They're gonna bring Ben Simmons to their team. Like that's what they're gonna do.
I just think I mean, you know what? If it works out for them and he plays fantastic, that's good on them. But I just think it's a huge risk, and I don't know. You're a 7 seed, anything could happen. But I think just this 2-man team of Kyrie Irving and KD is just not going to do anything for them going forward.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
even if they beat the Celtics, I think the Celtics are. I really underestimated them. They are a better team all around. Um, if they do manage to come back in the series and win, they got to go. Then they got to beat the Milwaukee Bucks. But the Bucks are dealing with their own problems right now. Let's get into the injuries. While these NBA playoffs have been fun, we're going to miss a lot of good players here. Luka is ruled out for Game 3, and we knew what was going on with him in the calf strain. And then Devin Booker, as he dabs up a damn baby later on in the game, he messes up his hamstring, and he's going to be gone for what was it, 2 to 3 weeks? Is that the latest
Yeah.
report?
Yeah, that was
Yikes.
that was reported today.
Even though I think the Suns are loaded, I think that they'll be fine in the series against the Pelicans. But that's a big injury.
The Pelicans still won that game.
I know, but you're thrown off in a game because your superstar's down.
No doubt.
I think Monty Williams can have a game plan without Devin Booker, and Willie Green was on his coaching staff a year ago, so this happens when a former protege starts taking it to the master.
Hey man, don't put it past the Pelicans to beat the Suns in this series without Devin
You think
Booker.
so? Would you want that though? Don't you want the Warriors or don't you want the Warriors and Suns to play each other?
Of
in the
course
Western
I
Conference
do.
Final?
I don't want like the Warriors and the Pelicans. Hell no, I don't want that.
Well, that'd be we're going on a limb there. They're going to go all the way as an 8 seed.
So wait, who would they play next? It would be it'd be the winner of the Jazz and the Mavericks, right?
Yes,
It would.
because there is no seeding. It's whoever. It's just a bracket thing.
Right. Oh gosh. All right, you guys. There's one on NBA.com. I need to have this pulled up. So I'm gonna do the.
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, hang on. I'm gonna pull up.
Fine,
the
I'll sing the
here,
song. Steven's pulling it up. He's doing a pull up on the computer.
Hmm.
Should I keep singing?
Yeah, keep singing right. Keep singing for now.
Well, real quick, I'll bring this up because you brought up Tom Brady before. We're finally getting an episode of Man in the Arena.
I don't care. Screw Tom Brady. 22 playoffs. 2022.
Do you know
bracket.
how many times I've had to recut that damn episode? I feel bad for the editors of Man in the Arena. Good God.
Well, we don't care.
I care about editors. All right.
So yes, it would be the winner of Dallas and Utah.
Correct.
Whew. Gosh, that would stink, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. So let's hope the Suns come back in the series and win. Or they're tied, so they'll be fine.
31 first half points, and then they go on to lose. Man. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think the Chris Middleton injury is way more.
Yeah, forgot about that.
Way bigger.
Chris Middleton, MCL sprain, and the Bucks lost last night to the Bulls. And the Bulls, I think, lost 16 straight to the Bucks, so they needed that one. In the end, I do think the Bucks and the Suns still win their series.
I think so, but Middleton's out at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, his injury is worse. His injury is worse.
A sprained MCL. That does not sound good when something is sprained. And he's your number 2. You absolutely need him if you want to have any chance in the East, because right now the Sixers look fantastic. The Heat have looked awesome so far in their playoffs. And then, of course, you got the Celtics. And the Celtics, if the Bucks do end up winning, they move on and they play what looks like it's going to be Boston. I don't think the Nets are going to come back in this series. I thought the Nets were going to win, but Boston is just way too good right now.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
I don't think the Bucks are beating the Celtics without Chris Middleton if he's not there for a majority of the series.
That would be interesting. That would be a great series. Yeah,
that's what it's setting up to be. So I don't think. I mean, it's going to be Miami and Philadelphia most likely because Miami has the 2-0 lead on Atlanta. Atlanta's not going to come back from that. They're the Heat are just too deep and their coach is too good. So I don't know, man. It could very well be that the Bucks get out of these little conference semis that they got coming up here next. So
we'll see. We'll see. I know the Chris Middleton injury is big, but they have Giannis and they also have Drew Holiday. So I think that while they are missing a vital piece to their offense and defense, I think that they'll be fine. And we'll see what happens in the next series. I do still think they beat the Bulls. But, this is why, this makes me nervous because the Warriors are playing so well, and God forbid if anything happened, but injuries can just so derail your season, especially in the postseason.
Yeah, man, the war of attrition, the battle of attrition, whatever they want to call it. But hey, the Bulls don't sleep on them, man. They're going back home. 2 games in Chicago.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
we will see.
We will.
Embiid with the game winner last night. Joel Embiid. Great call from Kate Scott. Yeah, that was how many times are you going to see a center for the game winner 3?
It's crazy. Yeah, I know. Like what this dude does. I know we don't like to. We're in a weird era in sports right now because, like, 30 years from now, let's just use that as a hypothetical.
Oh God, I'll be 61.
I don't know
just
how long it's going to be.
Closer to death every day, Steven.
I don't know how much longer it's going to be till we start like putting Joel Embiid up with the greatest centers of all time. But with everything that he does, dude, he certainly has to be one of the most well-rounded big men that we have ever seen in this game.
Let's just say it, Steven. He's better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Is that what you want to say?
No, but like what kind of a guy can move this way, is this fast, and can hit a turnaround 3 with a second left on the inbound? What the hell
Harden
is that?
fouls out.
What the hell is that?
I know. It was a great call by Doc Rivers. Great call.
Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. I never thought
what
that
if he missed that?
We
all would have just laughed and been like, "Oh, look at Joel trying to win it with a 3."
No, I think we would have paid it no mind.
Yeah,
I think we would have just said.
But in the moment, it would have been like, nice attempt there, Joel. It went from like, oh, Joel's gonna take the shot. Oh shit, he made it. Whoa.
Yeah. And I think that Shaq's getting a little jealous.
What was Shaq's deal last night? Did you see the whole thing with them on NBA on Inside the NBA on TNT?
What, the pregame?
He showed up late.
Yeah.
And Kenny Smith called him out. And Shaq said, if you try to be funny again, I'm going to put paws on you. Good Lord. And then he didn't want to be a part of the entire, he just wasn't having it. And Charles Barkley was saying, like, when it gets to 1 o'clock Eastern time, I'm out of here because I'm tired of this shit. I know people love that show, but sometimes it's like, guys, you're acting like children.
Yeah, well, I mean, they could do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Those guys feel like they're bigger than the games. That's the truth.
Yes, 100%.
And then we got the Warriors against the Denver Nuggets tonight, Game 3. Should Steph start this game?
What's that?
Sorry. What are you watching? You're not.
I wasn't watching. Right? I wasn't watching anything. I accidentally opened something. What do you got? I was trying to look on. I was
You're
trying
looking
to
at
look
porn
on
again. I know, Steven.
No, I was looking at the NBA on TNT Instagram, and I was trying to find the video without sound on. Anyway, what were you saying?
Should Steph start tonight?
No, but didn't Steph show you that, like, no matter who starts, it doesn't really matter. They're going to find minutes for all of these guys.
Of course.
Like Steph could have had more than 23 minutes or whatever it was that he was on the floor. I don't know. It depends on how this game goes. A lot's riding on this Game 3. Like, personally, I don't think he's going to start Game 3 as a starter. I'm still waiting for the lineups to be announced here. Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen. I could see him coming off the bench again, but I really don't care. I really don't care if he's getting the production that he's getting. Fine. I'm just waiting to see what that new lineup does. I am waiting for 6 minutes left in the first half, and I want to see what happens.
Yeah,
That's really what.
Sorry, I'm just checking to see if Anthony Slater is said anything about the lineups because he usually tweets that stuff out.
Mr. Slater.
Anthony V. Slater. Nope, he's just saying that Steph Curry, his quote on minute and shoot around. Hopefully, I've demonstrated at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter who starts. That's the truth.
It definitely is, man. Like, it doesn't matter. That's what gets lost in all this.
I know.
Kevon Looney's going to be the starter, sure, but that's because you want to show you don't want them to punk you playing small ball and then set the tone when you're playing defensively. Because if you go back and watch the way that the Nuggets were like handling their offense on it when it was small ball, it's like, what are you doing? Yeah. They got a bunch of guys. They're trying to combat the small ball lineup with 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, get the ball to Jokic. Have Jokic hold the ball as high as possible. Just kind of like Adam Sandler in dodgeball. Just let him be the bigger guy, and you got the little O'Doyle who's like Draymond. And just have him hold the ball.
In Billy Madison.
And what'd I say?
Dodgeball.
Damn it, sorry. Billy Madison when they were playing dodgeball.
I was about to chew your ass out.
Now you're all in big, big trouble. But like the way that they were running their offense, it's like, what are you guys doing? Just play big man basketball. Don't play as if you're running small ball on offense too. Like, that's not going to work. Just try and get your points this way. So I do think they're going to be different on offense. I don't know how they're going to defend it, but I think offensively you're going to see something different tonight.
We're going to see a fight from the Nuggets tonight. That's why I wonder if Steve Kerr just like, if they're going to come at us with what the best they got, let's start off with what the best we got, and let's start Steph, and then we'll bring Jordan Poole off the bench.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to have to do. But Jordan Poole has been one of your best players, if not your best player so far. So fun stuff.
Taking those free throws, right?
Yes, it's real. Like I wasn't. It got see what you did, Derek. Okay, what you did.
Mm-hmm.
You took my words and you ran with them when I meant something completely different. I wasn't saying, hey, you need to have Jordan Poole shooting techs now. Steph shouldn't do it anymore. I just think it's fascinating that it is a valid question.
Yes.
Hey, should Jordan Poole maybe start taking those techs over Steph? I never even thought that would be a question. Like, I thought for the rest of his career, Steph, you're the best shooter of all time. You're taking the technicals. Oh, wait. Well, we got someone else on our team, the best free throw shooter other than Stephen Curry since Corey Maggette. I'm just kidding. He was just a really good free throw shooter. But
good old Corey.
But Jordan Poole, it's a real thing, man. 93% from the free throw line, leading the league. So it's crazy to me that it's even
a conversation to be had.
Yes, like even that because it is. It is. If he misses more, I think that, there can be a real conversation around that. It's not going to be the be-all, end-all for a game. It's like, hey, yeah, we missed technical free throws. This is going to change the complexity of the game. But, yeah, another thing also, now speaking of free throws, I do wonder tonight if they're going to go with, if they end up, if they end up closing the game in the fourth quarter and it's close, right? They're going shot for shot. I wonder how Steve Kerr is going to handle it. What's his closing lineup going to look like? Because the last time they were without Draymond Green, so they had to use Kevon Looney in that situation, and they were going hack-a-loon. They were forcing Looney to shoot these free throws, and I had never seen a man more tired than Kevon Looney at the end of that game. That dude, they were making him shoot free throws. He was having a tough time catching his breath because of all the work that he had to do on Jokic.
Yeah.
Draymond's been doing a lot of work on Jokic lately. And if you're in Denver, you're in the fourth quarter, and he's the guy who's playing center. Like if they're going out there, let's just say with the normal second unit that they use in the first quarter. Normally what they do is they take out Klay Thompson, they keep Andrew Wiggins there, and they also take out Kevon Looney. They replace Klay Thompson with whoever it is, might be GP2 and Otto Porter Jr., a mix of that. So if Draymond is your guy, are they going to be running a hack of Draymond? Are they going to be running some sort of version of that? That's also what I'm looking out for tonight's game too. Well,
Well,
game 3, but 2 and TOO.
we'll see tonight, my friend.
We'll see tonight.
A's attendance. That's how I transition. This is making me sad. 3,000 fans showed up the other night, 3,789 to be exact. I'm hearing
So
a lot
what?
of things. What's up?
So what? They're winning games.
I know,
Like,
but
fans don't
hang
show
on.
up. It's their fault.
I
They're out of
know,
it.
I know. But let's bring some actual context to this. They
Okay.
changed the start time of the game yesterday, like 2 hours before first pitch.
Really?
Yeah, and then I'm hearing things that they've closed concessions. Like you can't get everything at the Coliseum. Something's going on there. It's getting a little fishy. Where Dave Cavill is telling everybody, "Don't come to the game, so I can move this team to Vegas."
It's getting fishy with Fisher.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. That was a softball, and you took it off for me.
Yeah. It was low hanging fruit. That happened
Yeah.
yesterday. Really?
Yeah, it's they moved the start time to like 3 in the afternoon or whatever it was. Um, all I'm saying is the A's are winning games for now, but they're doing everything they can to make sure that fans don't show up to the ballpark. It's just sad. It's just really sad.
You know where they're streaming the game tomorrow nationally?
Apple,
Apple Plus. A's
Katie
at
Nolan?
home against the Rangers.
Katie Nolan
Apple
hosting
TV
that?
Plus. Is she?
I think she is. With
Wow, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Good for
I
her.
didn't know that.
And your boy, oh God, why can't I think of his name? Crazy guy for the Giants. Retired.
Oh, Hunter Pence.
Hunter Pence. He's on that too. Analyst.
I'm looking right now. Beginning Friday. Oh, well. Friday night baseball. Huh.
They're doing it at Friday night? People watching games on Friday nights?
That's what they're calling it, Friday night baseball. But
FNB.
Are you
FNB?
Okay,
baby.
yeah. So you got Steven Nelson, who's on the play-by-play, Hunter Pence, who's an analyst, Katie Nolan, and Heidi Watney. So they were calling one game, but you also got Melanie Newman, Chris Young, Hannah Kaiser, and Brooke Fletcher. So there you go.
Sorry, Seinfeld reference.
No, that's okay. Derek, get it through your head.
Don't strangle me
like
through this split screen.
I'm fine with Seinfeld. I like Seinfeld. And there are most references I will understand. But when it's from some super obscure episode and it's something random, you remember when Seinfeld's dad did that? Like, maybe not. Sorry. I like Seinfeld, okay? I know Newman.
Do you remember that one episode where Kramer goes up to Jerry and says, "Hey, buddy"?
I do remember those 800 episodes that they did that, yes.
Speaking of Apple,
I thought I'm sorry. I thought about it because I was scrolling through Netflix to find something to watch, and I saw Seinfeld on there. I'm like, you know what? I should probably binge Seinfeld just so I could get along with you in this podcast.
If you don't want to, you don't have to, my friend.
Well, I'm in the middle of Letterkenny, man. I got to finish that up because they're coming out with a spin-off show called Shoresy. So I gotta watch it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I still need to watch Letterkenny. There's a lot of things I need to watch. Barry's
There's nice. Atlanta's back too. I got to watch more of that.
That's a good show too.
The character Shoresy is how it is in Seinfeld with George Steinbrenner. They don't show his face. There's no real actor that's playing him.
Oh, really?
The only thing, he's
just the back of his head.
He the only scenes you see him in is in the bathroom because in Letterkenny. There's like two different groups. There's this group of 4 people, kind of like in Seinfeld, really, where they talk about nothing, right? Where they just sit around and talk about nothing. And then there's these hockey players who, there's like 2 hockey players, and it's kind of like showing the hockey side of Canada. They use like a lot of slang, hockey slang, it's so good. But they have these bathroom scenes where there's a guy who's sitting in the stall and he's one of their teammates, but you never see him. And his name's Shoresy, and he's just always taking a shit or like pissing from a really long distance.
They're giving this guy his own show.
Yeah, and it's the creator of the show. He's doing the voice, so it's like Larry David doing George Steinbrenner, and he's just like sitting there talking shit in the bathroom stall, and he's just like, "Give your balls a tug, you tit fucker." It's so good.
It's
So
kind of like
yeah,
did you ever see Home Improvement? I didn't watch it very much, but there was the neighbor that you just saw like the top of his hat.
wasn't his name Wilson?
No, that was the volleyball in Castaway.
Oh God, what's his name? That this is gonna bother me. Hang
It
on, I
probably
need
is
it.
Wilson.
I
There's
need
other
the name.
there's other characters that are named Wilson.
What's his name? Yeah, Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah, it is Wilson.
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 That was his name.
Yeah, Wilson.
That's pretty clever. Speaking of Apple, I was just gonna say that Sunday Ticket apparently is going to Apple.
Yeah.
So if you got that, hang on to it because it actually may get pricey. You gotta, you know, everything's getting pricey now. All these streaming services now asking me for $10 more to watch Netflix that has zero shit now.
Did you see how much they're spending per episode for Stranger Things?
No, how much? Is that
30
coming back too?
million. Yes,
30
season
million?
4. 30 million per episode. I just saw that online. It was from The Fader, which is like a pop culture magazine.
Well, isn't the Lord of the Rings show that's coming out on Amazon Prime like the most expensive show ever, like for $1 billion,
Really? I,
something like that?
it wouldn't shock me, but it's just yeah, hey, you're not allowed to share passwords. You're going to have to pay more. By the way, we're going to spend
What?
30 million per episode in the 4th season.
Hold on, you can't share
Unbelievable.
passwords on Netflix anymore?
There it's a possibility that that'll be a thing.
Oh,
Yes.
fuck off. Yeah, all right. You're starting to piss me off here, Netflix.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking to me. I was like, what did I do?
Just don't shoot the messenger.
I'm
Speaking of
reporting the
which,
facts, bro.
speaking of shows, it was bound to happen. Jerry West wants an apology from the producers of Winning Time, and rightfully so. But here's the thing, Jer. It's gonna be hard to do. I call him Jer. We have that relationship.
Yeah.
Me and Mr. West. Um,
Okay.
I've never met the man, or spoken to him, or texted. Actually, I tried to text him and no response. Um, yeah, I get it. His portrayal is way over the top. It's getting better and with each episode, but I do understand the why he feels this way, and I don't know what he wants. He wants an apology, sure, but he also wants a retraction. So I don't know what you want. Like, are we going to remove those episodes and act like he doesn't, act that way, like change the whole episodes? Can't do that. I do
Yeah.
expect and would hope that Adam McKay, who's a big NBA fan and historian, not historian, but he loves the history of basketball, he would reach out to Jerry West and say, "Hey, I'm sorry. We never intended this to make you angry, but if you want your character to be portrayed in different ways going forward, we can do that for you."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is there going to be another season? Have they announced that?
Yes, it is. It is going to be renewed, despite with all the controversy of the show. It's doing great numbers. So, and they want to tell the whole story. Like, this is just focusing on the 79 to 80 season, the first season when they won the championship. So there is more and more and more to get into. So yes, it has been renewed for a second season.
There's a lot of the casting for it. Each episode, I think I watched one more since our last pod. Like each episode, it's just the casting for every single person, whether it's Red Auerbach in the restaurant, or Adrian Brody as Pat Riley, which is actually kind of weird. Like, good Lord, you're really gonna get Adrian Brody, like to play one of the coolest, most handsome coaches / GMs / owners ever. Like,
just
really
wait,
get Adrian Brody.
Just wait until you see when he realizes that he looks good with his slick back hair. It's a little ridiculous.
Pat Riley not liking it for him either. He's not liking his portrayal from Brody.
Nobody is. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wrote an article about it.
Really?
He did. He's a writer now. He writes.
Right, he writes for Substack, but what did he say?
He basically said that he was upset. He has a lot of respect for Jerry West, and he's like, I don't like the way they're portraying me at times. They're making me seem like an asshole, but it's okay. That's not the first time that people have said that about me. What I am upset with is that the way they're doing Mr. West, and I'm not appreciative of that. So that seems to be the consensus with a lot of people. Like Magic Johnson, he's going to have his Apple Plus show, which I hear is just way too controlled by him. Surprise. He hasn't said boo about this because while he can argue the ways that they're doing this, the truth is the truth. He slept with everybody in L.A. behind Cookie's back. So yeah.
He's a giver. Have you seen Magic Johnson's tweets? By the way, his
well, they're
playoff
the
tweets.
most obvious thing. They're just like,
Yeah,
I like the Warriors.
they have been magical. Where is it?
They've been
Where's
magical.
they really have. Hang on, I need to find the one that was my favorite. It was I retweeted it. Jimmy Butler scored 45 points last night to lead the Miami Heat 115 to 105 over the Hawks and take a 2-0 series lead. Period. Thank you. Thank you, Magic.
Did he just copy and paste that? What he, like somebody's box score or like someone's article?
I really have no clue. He followed it up saying Miami is one of the deepest and most talented teams in the playoffs and arguably has the best coach in the NBA. The defense, run game, and three-point shooting have all been on point in the first two games of the series! Exclamation mark.
Well, when you have tweets like that, you definitely want to leave the Lakers and just spend your time doing that.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Just obvious tweets.
I love this. I love this, man.
How much do you love Nicolas Cage, Stephen?
Enough to watch the new movie. Oh my God, the unbearable weight of massive talent. Let's go.
Which is this trailer, the trailer is amazing if you haven't seen it, and I can't wait to go see the movie. I'm going to see it sometime this weekend. And it's a perfect 420 movie. There's no coincidence there that they had this movie align with 420. But the title of it, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I was talking about this with a buddy of mine, that with the way this movie, the whole thing is that Nicolas Cage is playing himself, and he is offered to go to a millionaire's mansion and hang out with him for $1 million. And I guess it's Pedro Pascal who's on The Mandalorian. Is that where he's from?
Yes, yes, okay. But I think and when the Mandalorian's a popular one, but I'd say he grew with Narcos. Narcos. Is,
wait, fuck, he's who's the famous drug cartel?
He's not part of the cartel. He's one of the cops.
Oh, he's not Pablo Escobar on the show?
No, he's not Pablo Escobar. That's another dude. I think that's a Colombian actor.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie looks insane, and I can't wait for it. But the title, I'm just surprised they went with this title because it's very weird. It kind of fits the theme of the movie because the movie's weird. At least I'm hoping it's weird. But I'm surprised they didn't call it like Let the Cage Out or just something punny with his name or whatever.
I have been waiting for this for a year. It was reported. I read it in Variety that Nicolas Cage is going to be starring in a
Variety?
movie. No, but when I see an article that says with the headline Nicolas Cage to play in a movie about himself, I'm going to open it and I'm going to read it. And I saw that and I was like, oh, yes. Okay, this is the one. I really was like Nicolas Cage in Face Off at the beginning. Can't wait.
I need a peach for hours. So what is your favorite?
Tomorrow, you know what, though? Tomorrow, because Jesse and I are going to go on a little date night, going out to dinner and then a movie. We're going to go see Everything Everywhere All at Once. We're going to go see that. I heard it was really good.
It's a good movie. I saw it a week ago. Let me just say, your mind is going to melt after you see it.
So I think I don't know, because that's going to be on next week. I might go watch that by myself. But
the Nicolas Cage movie?
So we might go watch the Nicolas. I don't know. It's going to be either or. It's going to be up to Jesse here, but choose between these two because The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I kind of need to see that.
That seems like a fun movie to watch, but I did see Everywhere, Everything All at Once last weekend, and it is crazy. And
I heard it's super good. I want to watch it.
A lot of people say, a lot of my friends have told me it's one of their favorite movies now. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's going to stick with me as much as other people, but I really, it's one of the more unique movies I've seen in quite some time. So I would recommend seeing it in theaters. I don't know if you'll love it, but it's a good movie. It's very good.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So what's your favorite Nicolas Cage movie? I watched Face Off for like the 15th time last week, and Jesse chimed in. I'm not watching Nicolas Cage on my day off. She's not a Nick Cage fan?
She needs to spell Nicolas Cage right. In this house, you spell his name without the H. How dare you?
Is that how he
It's
spells it?
yeah. So, favorite Nicolas Cage movie? What a tough
Face Off still
question.
holds up. Face Off is just
Yeah,
incredible.
Face Off is like ridiculous.
I need
Con
a
Air's
light.
amazing.
I need a light.
Con Air's amazing.
Con Air's good.
But you know what? Just
He's got like an Aaron Rodgers thing going on in Con Air.
for nostalgic purposes, I'd have to say National Treasure. I love
Ooh,
National Treasure.
my roommate had that on the other day too. National Treasure's fun.
I'm gonna watch now.
Jesse, the H is for hell no. Um,
Our only
my
viewer is someone in a room next to me.
my favorite Nicolas Cage movie. I love Face Off. Um, his good movies, like they're actually solid movies from like beginning to end. Raising Arizona is really fun.
Raising
Um,
Arizona is awesome.
yeah, but if you want like a just straight up crazy ass Nicolas Cage movie, The Wicker Man is just insane. The bees
Not
killing
the
me won't bring back
bees.
your goddamn honey. Oh, you bitches. um, it's and one of my favorite. Have you ever seen on YouTube Nicolas Cage loses his shit, where it's a montage of all of the great moments of him in movies?
No, but I've watched Nicolas Cage on YouTube before, so maybe I
Okay,
have come across
okay.
it.
Highly recommend it. It's like a YouTube classic. It's just someone puts like some intense music to all of Nicolas Cage's movies where he's just insane. So yeah, I can't wait to see this movie. It looks very good. Lastly, Stephen, I hate that we always have to do this, but rest in peace to the Mad Bomber. Daryl LaMonica passed away today. One of the original Raider OGs when they were in the AFL. One of the original gunslingers. And he's a Raider legend. So rest in peace to Daryl LaMonica.
Very sad, man. We
Yeah.
haven't had a single it's like we haven't had a single
Episode where we don't.
show for the past
Yeah,
episode where we have not had to mention someone who's passed away.
I know it's terrible.
80 years old, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
too bad. Yeah, good guy. I've messaged him a few times. I think he came on with us when Ken Stabler was going into the Hall of Fame posthumously. But yeah, rest in peace to the Mad Bomber.
The original,
Um,
the OG.
yeah, and then we got the Warriors tonight at 7 o'clock. So we'll watch that. And Memphis and Minnesota's tipped off. Minnesota's leading 18-12. So let's let people start watching that. Also tonight, if you want to check out the podcast with me and John Middlecoff, it'll be coming out as soon as we're done with this one. And then next week, Stephen, it's draft time, baby. We'll be back on Tuesday. And do you want to do a show the day after the draft just to review everything on Friday?
Maybe.
Maybe. It's a maybe. We'll get back to you. But until then, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Steven, say what you always say, my friend.
Nicolas Cage was on a 2-year stretch where he came out with Leaving Las Vegas, The Rock, Con Air, and Face Off. What an unbelievable 2 years and 4 movies. Superstar. That's just our opinion, man.